Hey everyone, how are you doing today? As you may notice, I have a bit of a new backdrop, a new background, and there is a reason for that I'm not going to go into too much detail on, but I am going to explain in this video. And yeah, this is just a bit of a not fun update, but I am going to try to keep it more positive, especially towards the end. So I hope you stick with me as I just give you a bit of an update on where I am, where I'm going, and why I've kind of odd with my videos lately. Some of you probably follow me on Twitter. You may have seen this on Instagram if you follow me on there as well, that just under 4 weeks ago now, my relationship ended. And it was a complete shock. I had spoken to him a few days prior to this happening, saying that I was concerned about our relationship because there'd been no intimacy for quite a while. And I said to him that it felt like I was putting more and more effort into trying with intimacy and trying to get close again and reconnect. And it felt like he was pulling more and more and more away. And I had basically said to him, I need you to talk to me. I need you to communicate with me. I'm not going to bring it up again because I don't want this to turn into a thing that we're always arguing about. But please, can we work together? Can we try and really focus on rebuilding some of the things we'd lost in our relationship? Because it felt like we were living two separate lives. He was away at work all the time. I was home all the time, and it just felt like there was a massive disconnect. But after that conversation, he didn't say anything. Things seemed to be fine. And then 3 days later, he went to work for his parents, so he disappeared off. I made a joke on that night when he was packing, because it felt like he was taking a lot longer than normal, and it felt like he was taking a lot more stuff than normal. And I sort of jokingly said to my housemate, I was like, oh, is he moving out or something? No, it turned out that he was going to theirs to then break up with me so that he didn't have to be in the house when it happened. All I knew was things were fine. It got to the Wednesday, I was starting to get a bit concerned because I'd sent him some photos and some messages that he hadn't been responding to, and I got a little bit worried. I then couldn't get hold of him. I tried calling him, everything, and there was no response. I went to his mum and asked her if he was okay, and then I got a message back from him saying, I'm fine, I just need space. We'll talk on Friday. This was Wednesday. I have severe panic attacks and anxiety, and he knows this. He still refused to pick up the phone when I tried to then call him. I sent him a message saying, what the hell is going on? Please talk to me. What's happening? Why do you not want to talk to me? Are you ending things? And no response. He ignored me. The following morning, I sent a text begging him to come home because I'd spent the whole night with severe panic attacks. I had been throwing up. I had such bad shakes, my housemate thought I was having a seizure. And he still refused to acknowledge me. My friend came down from Leeds to be with me, and that night I started to pack because you kind of get to a point where you're like, I know where this is going, even though part of me was really hoping it wasn't going to go there. So I spent Thursday packing, and then Friday I messaged him again in the morning to say, are you definitely home today? Because, I really want to have this discussion and get things out of the way. And he was like, oh no, work has got me stuck here till Saturday. And I got really upset because I said to him, you're being cruel. I'm sat here sobbing, hugging the cats, thinking this is the last time I'm ever going to see them, and thinking my entire life is about to be destroyed, and you can't give me the decency of coming home. This is what you've decided you want to do after 4.5 years, after being engaged, 5 days ago we were still planning our wedding, and suddenly this is what's happened, and you're still not going to talk to me. And I just said, do you know what, I'm not putting up with this. I'm not going to be treated like this. I'm going to stay with my uncle for a few days. And he responded with the message that essentially I forced his hand into doing this over Messenger. We both knew our relationship had been over for a long time, and that it would be best if I go to my uncle's and he would deliver my stuff to me the next day. That's how he ended it. Still never spoke to me. He then proceeded to ignore every single message after that. I did call him a coward because, quite frankly, I felt he deliberately did things so that he wouldn't have to face the consequences of the choices that he had made. And basically, me and my friend then spent the whole of Friday packing what I could take. I very clearly told him, these are the things that I can take, these are the things that I can't. However, the following day, 3 vehicles pulled up outside the house, absolutely chock full with every tiny shred of evidence of me being in that house. Even things like they took a laundry basket that had been out in the garden for about 2 years, and they put a load of my stuff in that because it was my laundry basket, even though it had been in the garden for 2 years and was on the throwing out pile with the rest of his things. They took it back off the pile to dump onto me. They tried to dump all my furniture as well, but I turned around and said point blank, no. I was explicit that I could only take a set amount of things, and in the end there was so much stuff that was given to me and dumped on me, because it was. So yeah, they turned up, they did all that. I had a massive breakdown that led to me ending up spending a week at my dad's. And all this happened the week before my birthday. So that was also fantastic and lovely. And it was raining as well, so some of my stuff got water damaged, which again, great. But we've now got a greenhouse that is full of a load of things that they dumped on me. My dad was fantastic. He's taken a lot of the stuff into storage for me because he's got a big storage space at his house. We've now sorted through everything, and I basically took a week after everything to go to my dad's. I ended up spending my birthday there, so I stayed with them for, I think it was a week that I ended up staying. And it was really lovely. Talking to my stepmom, because my sister lives in Australia. My aunt / godmother lives in Ipswich. My best female friend lives in Ipswich, and it was really, really hard, and the only sort of female presence that I have close to me was my stepmom, so it was nice to be able to get like that sort of mum hug and have those chats and talks that I would have had with like my gran or my mum. And between her, my dad, a few really good friends, and my stepbrother, they just sort of smothered me with love throughout the week, and I ended up having a really lovely birthday. And it made me start thinking about what dreams did I have that I'd put aside for my relationship. And so this is why we kind of now move on to the more positive things. Though I am going to say my mental health is not good. I'm struggling. I suffer very severely with rejection sensitivity. And if you're not sure about what that is, then I would just say, I never normally say this, I normally like to explain, but just go onto Google or onto YouTube, type it in. I just don't have the energy to go through what it all is and how it affects me right now. But I do suffer from rejection sensitivity, and for me this is kind of like if someone said to me, what is the biggest rejection that you feel you could go through? I would have said being abandoned by the person I love most in the world and treated like crap. So kind of my worst ever fear has now happened, and yeah, it's going to take a while to get over that. I am having really bad trouble with sleeping, which is one of the reasons I've not yet gone. Been hired for a job at an agency, but I haven't yet started because I'm lucky if I get to sleep before 5 o'clock in the morning at the moment, and it's more I'm passing out from exhaustion than actual sleep. I'm having really bad dreams. I'm just not sleeping well. Most days I'm stable emotionally, but then I will have a really bad day and that knocks me back. And then I do remember it's not even been a month yet, so it's probably not surprising that I'm still going through it and having these problems. I have spoken to my doctor. We're talking about going on to antidepressants and things like that, and me coming off my ADHD meds for now so that I could focus on my depression. Because the last thing I need right now is to go into a massive depression. So that's why, even though it's not actually ready yet and I'm still surrounded by woodworking materials and things like that, I have cleared enough that I can start to record. I am having to sit up on the bench though, because if I stand I'm not quite in frame, but on the bench I've noticed that I'm almost too in frame. So it's going to take a while to get used to that. But on to more positive things. Like I said, this has helped me to reevaluate now. What dreams did I give up for Rob? What goals do I now want to go for? And the biggest one is where I'm going to live. I don't plan on staying in Tamworth any longer than I have to, because I've never grew up here. I never lived here growing up, so I don't have any connections. I don't have any friends. When I lived here after I graduated from uni, I didn't really connect with anyone. I tried a few times and it just really didn't get me anywhere. There's not really any social groups that I'm aware of that kind of line up with my interests. Though I have today discovered that there is a Pride event that goes on in the summer, and there is a meeting tomorrow to meet with the committee and to be a volunteer, so I'm thinking about doing that. And I'm going to try again this time to make friends, but again I'm concerned that it's not really going to happen. But even if I do make friends, I have no intention of staying here. It's just not a place that I feel I fit. So my biggest decision and dream that I've now decided to aim for is Scotland. I've been vastly interested in Scotland since I was about 18 and started doing my family history. My granddad was Glaswegian, and I've discovered that he has links in Edinburgh and up in the Highlands, and I've kind of low-key been wanting to move to Scotland for a while, and Rob was very against it, but now I'm free to do that. So I've decided I want to move to Edinburgh because they have a very big book community up there. I know there's a few booktubers up that way. There's a few authors that I love that are up that way. Not that I'm like hoping to, it's just more of to know that these people are around just to help fuel my engagement and things. It's quite an artistic community. It's very LGBT friendly. It seems like a fantastic place for me to go. And I've spoken to a few people asking, obviously I'm getting into the dreams, but what is the reality? And it's not been putting me off. So I have decided on Edinburgh. I've also got a few other things in the pipeline and a couple of other announcements and things, but I'm not quite ready to make those public yet because I'm just not ready. And a couple of them I still don't know the answers to or where I'm going myself with that. But in terms of my channel, like I said, my book videos I can keep going. But my journal videos, for February there won't be any journal updates because I need to buy a couple of new bullet journals and start the year again. Because quite frankly, going through my bullet journals and seeing all my hopes and dreams and knowing that those hopes and dreams no longer exist, it hurts, and I don't really need that memory every single time I look at the journal. So I am going to get new ones, so I'm going to restart again in March. So I know a lot of you are here for that content and I do apologise. I hope you stick around just for the bookish stuff anyway. But yeah, March is when I will be back in full, fingers crossed, with all of my bullet journals as well as the books. Day to day, minute to minute, that's how I'm taking life right now. I'm not pushing myself into anything. I'm not forcing myself to do things I'm not ready for. But I am starting to come up with like a 2-year plan of what I want to do, where I want to be. You know, I want to get my driving licence by the end of the summer. I want to get a car by the autumn and then start looking at moving by sort of Christmas time. But we shall see where that goes. I hope you stay with me for the journey. I will do a couple more life updates over the next few months just for you guys to see where I'm at. If you stuck with me to the end of this video, then just let me know in the comments by posting an emoji of something in your favourite colour. It can be a love heart or a flower or an animal, but something that is your favourite colour, just to let me know. And I also want to just say a massive thank you. So many people, especially on my Twitter, I've had messages and I've had people that have been checking in every couple of days just to see how I'm doing. I've had offers from people to visit and stay with them. I mentioned that I might be going travelling in the summer and in the Easter holidays once I've got work and income, and I've had a few people that are like, hey, come and hang out with me, it'd be great to see you. And you guys have really helped soften a lot of the hard moments, and especially at the moment I'm doing a lot of reading sprints and I'm taking part in a lot of reading sprints because, you know, just for those few hours I can forget everything and just be surrounded with love and happiness because everyone's so great on all of them. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been so supportive. It's going to be a rough few months ahead, but like I said, I've got things in place now. I've started making decisions, I've got plans, and I also am surrounded by, either virtually or in person with like my family, I'm surrounded by people who want to help, and for the first time in my life I actually want to let them. So as I said, I will do another check-in soon. I normally only do 1 or 2 a year, but I will do a few more regularly just to let you guys know how I'm doing, and also I will do a post where I announce kind of where I want to go in the next year with like my year plans and things. But until then, I'm gonna go and I will see you on the next video. Bye.